writers Josh Campbell and Matt Stukin. Well, I'm just going to stand up here. So, in an expert move, we are now starting in the race box. So first, let's take a quick look at an introduction to the anime and manga franchise, the original story that inspired the film. Please enjoy our Saint Seiya 101 video. In 1986, Japanese author Masami Kurumada created a groundbreaking manga inspired by Greek mythology. It was soon adapted into an anime series produced by Toei Animation, which broke out of Japan and achieved unprecedented success, reaching generations of fans all over the world. This is Saint Seiya, or as many may know it, Knights of the Zodiac. Set in a world where ancient gods fight for supremacy over the earth, the story follows a young orphan named Seiya, who is destined to become a warrior of Athena, sworn to protect mankind against the eternal forces of evil. Seiya is joined by other young knights who, like him, endure the most brutal training to prove themselves worthy of the legendary armors offered by a goddess. Each armor draws its unique powers from one of the 88 constellations, channeling heroes and creatures of legend. In their epic battles, Seiya and his friends face the most powerful opponents, who test their resolve and push them to their limits and beyond. Over 4 decades, Knights of the Zodiac has spawned countless sequels and spin-offs, including animated films and a CGI remake series. Now the time has come for a new beginning, as the saga of Knights of the Zodiac is reborn in live action.
Ooh.
Our first question is for Tomek, our director. Tomek, Knights of the Zodiac is a tale well known to anime and manga fans. Can you give the audience a short synopsis of the film and share how you bring anime to live action while still being respectful of the original lore?
Absolutely, but first, thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
Behind the curtain, we were like always like very stressful. Will somebody come? And we have Athena stuff there. It's so great to be here, and it's so great to be in front of you because we are doing it for you. So, what is the story of Knights of the Zodiac? So, Knights of the Zodiac is a story of a young man, orphan, who discovers that his destiny is to become one of the guardians of the next incarnation of goddess Athena in the incoming war with the gods. But before he will fulfill this destiny, he has to deal with his own past, because a long time ago, when he was a young boy, he failed to protect his own sister, and this is something which is his burden, and it's chasing him since then, and it's something he has to solve at some point. What he doesn't know is that it was his sister, Patricia, who wanted to protect him, because she knew that if knights will discover their powers too early, then they are becoming a target of very, very powerful villains. And those villains want to destroy not only Athena, but everybody around Athena, because they believe that Athena will destroy the world. And it's a very, very interesting moral conundrum, also for our main character, Seiya, because this is the boy we are talking about. Because he has to choose his loyalties. Will he protect Athena? Will he protect the goddess, even knowing that she may destroy the world? Or maybe he will betray her, or maybe he will fall in love with her, which is something which is absolutely forbidden for knights, to fall in love with the goddess. And it's a very, very interesting one side of the story, but of course we are doing adaptation of manga and anime. And in manga and anime, one of the most important things is the balance between the heart, emotion, and absolutely powerful action. We know Senseiya from action. We know how violent, how amazing, how effective it is. And this guy...
Andy.
Yoshi, Toei Animation has been producing beloved, award-winning anime productions now for nearly 3/4 of a century. Why the shift to live action now? And what made you choose this particular subject for your first foray into live action film?
Why animation company doing live action? I think Marvel and DC, DC Comic gave us answer already. So I think the question is why this title and why Toei Animation, a Japanese animation studio, is doing here in Hollywood. One, I grew up with this Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya when I was a kid. And if there are some who have read manga or watched anime here, my zodiac sign was Cancer. So you can see how miserable my child is. He's the evil character on the local line. So one way that's my revenge back into live action, but and then also we have seen a lot of live action adaptation of the based on Japanese anime or manga, and not necessarily all of them kind of convey the original heart. So my goal was to coming out from Japan and learning how we make Hollywood films and make it ourselves so that we can carry this heart of the Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya, and making sure that happens. And we got the great crews and cast, so I can guarantee the film will be released next year, 2023, and you will see it.
Josh and Matt, what makes the Knights of the Zodiac such an important and relevant story to tell to today's movie-going audience?
Well, first off, Seiya is just such a fascinating character. He's an orphan. His sister, the only person he's ever loved in life, gets taken from him when he's just a kid. And, that's such an emotional place to start at. He grows up feeling lonely, feeling like he has no allies. And I think that's something we all can relate to. You feel like those moments where no one's in your corner, no one's defending you. But for Seiya, this is his entire life. This is all he's ever known. And because of it, he builds up some walls, he's got some anger issues. He's afraid of letting anyone in because he's afraid of making himself vulnerable only to get hurt again. And then this guy comes to him and he basically says, you're special, you have this extraordinary gift, and I need you to help me save the world. And that's such a great place to put this character because he looks at the world as something that's turned its back on him, so why should he fight to save it? And I think that's sort of what makes it so relevant to today's audience. There's so much conflict, a lot of people feeling disenfranchised, they can't find their place in the world. And so what do? Do you draw lines in the sand? Do you back into your corner and build up walls? You can, but that's not going to make the world a better place. And that's the big question for Seiya is, can he put aside all that past trauma and fight on behalf of the better good of the world? And that's just such a universal journey, and I think it's one of the reasons that Knights of the Zodiac feels like such a timeless story.
So true. Madison, this film is layered with empowered and powerful women. Your character, Sienna, gradually shows her powers as Athena, who is, after all, a goddess. How much does the chance to play that kind of character influence your choice of roles? And what specifically drew you to this character?
First of all, hi guys. I hope you're all doing
Hola, Sienna.
You know, at first, when I first found out about this project happening, I was extremely intimidated. I knew it was a very, very beloved
Sienna.
anime and manga. It was just such a big thing to be a part of, but I was also very honored that we got to speak together and you guys thought I could pull off Athena, so thank you. I'm very honored to be your Athena. But I think specifically what drew me to Sienna was, you know, even though she is a goddess, she very much, you know, she's a young girl and she quite literally has the weight of the world on her shoulders. And even though she has all of this responsibility, part of her really just wants to be a young girl who can fall in love and be a kid and go have fun for a couple hours. And I know I was that girl one day. She also kind of struggles with this imposter syndrome, like loss of identity, which probably everyone in this room has felt at some point. I know I have. So I think I just really felt a deep connection with her, and I think the way this art version of Zodiac was written, all of these characters are so grounded and human, and I think it's just another way everyone's going to fall in love with all of these characters.
Es todo, Sienna.
Andy, I understand you brought some behind-the-scenes footage. So
Oh my God.
The audience is used to what to expect when they see the final movie. So let's roll film and note that these are primarily stunt actors.
Oh, okay. Gracias. Oh my God. Dijo gracias. Oh my God. Oh.
Andy, you have an incredibly rich past body of work, including working with Jackie Chan and on movies such as Shang-Chi and projects like Into the Badlands. How do you approach a film like this and continue to raise the bar to top yourself?
Hi, everyone.
What's up, Andy?
You know, first thing, Sing Seiya is in my childhood, anime, manga. I follow all the cartoons in Hong Kong, and then in Hong Kong they call Sing Dosi Sing Qi. So I love the character, I always try to, hopefully, one day, I'm going to do something like live action cartoon. enemy. So this is when I have this opportunity, I'm very happy for this great producer, great director. For me, drama, telling story, using battle, and for me, action sequence, we usually fight, like the dialogue, using the fight style, fighting movie, same thing to telling story. So that, the character, whatever they're using,
Me dijeron que no podía grabar.
style or
Así que estuvo padre.
emotion and have story behind it. So that's very important. And then in this, if you guys know, Knights of Zodiac is a lot of character, great character. And all the characters, they all have their own signature move, signature style, they're the symbol. So, but they're anime. So my challenge is like, okay, how I transfer the animation action into it, the live action. So that's the challenge. But luckily, I have a great director like this gentleman. So Conrad is a very specific, knowing exactly what he wants, and tell the story about national shooting. So we are talking about, he like more practical stuff more than a CGI. So we try to do most is practical stuff. And then, somehow, I mean, a lot of people that is all practical stuff. But there are a lot of things, toward the end, when they are nice, something we have to use in CG because the speed that the human being cannot do it. So that's going to be the CG. But besides that, everything you will see it in a very practical. And luckily, there was very, very talented actors. They are doing their own stuff, and then they train hard and they do their own thing. They're very good, especially she's really, really good. She loves to do stuff. You will see it.
I feel like you do stunts. Stunts are fun.
I know, I cannot tell the stuff, what she does because we keep the secret, right?
Everything's a secret.
Producer always say, man, you cannot tell them. So I cannot tell them. But like I said, my job is try to figure out how I make the animation become live action. And for me, I have to think about what will fit the character and fit the style, what style they're using, how to tell the story, and how to see their emotion. So this is my job. So, and by seeing what you guys, the reaction earlier, I think it's a good job.
So let's go to Madison and Diego. Both of you have some significant stunt work in the film. What was that experience like, and how much did Andy put you through?
Well, Andy is the best, right? One more time. Andy is the best. And also like an icon, and I think he very much takes our movie to the next level. I think you guys just wait till you get to see. But what you did just see, which is really cool, is sort of a preface that Andy's team is so great. They kind of, with every, stunt sequence, his team will create these videos for us. So as the actor, we're able to watch exactly what we're going to be doing, which is very helpful visually, so we don't look terrible.
Yeah, adding on to that. Well, first I want to say hi, guys. Thank you guys for coming out. We're finally back after 3 years of COVID, so it's such an honor and privilege to be here at Comic-Con. But yeah, adding on to what Madison said, we pretty much flew straight from LAX into Budapest, coming off of a 13-hour flight. I was as stiff as a rock when I met Andy. I had knee injuries and back injuries, and working with somebody of this caliber, Andy Chang, who's worked on several Jackie Chan films, and my own personal favorite, The Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Working with somebody of this caliber, obviously you're going to come into it a little nervous, very excited, but pretty nervous. But once I met Andy, I knew we were under the best hands. I mean, he really took us under his wing, and him and his entire stunt team were just so lovely and so awesome to work with. They really taught us about our stunt choreography. They had us work on our flexibility and mobility, our strength and conditioning, but overall just gave us the mental confidence that I think we needed to go into these roles and gave us that physicality. You know, as Christian Bale says, physicality never lies. And with Andy Chang, I think we were able to tell a truth on the screen that you guys are all gonna love. So honestly, a round of applause for Andy because all this time.
Andy.
Let's not get it too big.
Thank you, yes, so nice. I love you. I also love you.
Spoiler alert, Diego is one of the baddies in the movie.
Ooh.
Would you please share with us your approach to playing a villain and what is your preference of character?
No han dicho
Hero
quién es el
or villain?
personaje. Fénix.
Yeah, so, you know, as an actor, when you get a script, the first thing you want to do is you want to read it and you don't want to judge it for a hero or for a villain, you know, left or right. You just want to read it and understand the guy, understand the character, understand where he's coming from, his motives, why he behaves the way he behaves. And yeah, when I read the script, you know, obviously I did my homework and I went back to the original anime, studied his behavioral patterns and all that. And I didn't really see him as a bad guy or a good guy. I just saw him as a guy with, you know, a very, very complex mind and a really strong point of view of things. And I can see how that gets misunderstood as being somebody who's cold and heartless. But I think in his own mind, he's doing everything he does because he thinks it's the best thing to do for himself, for the people around him, for all of humanity as a whole. And yeah, I mean, I would describe Nero as a very deviously intelligent young man with a very powerful point of view. And yeah, I think we're really going to see in the third act of this film how dirty Nero is willing to play.
Nero.
Get what he wants.
This point of view includes killing people.
Ok, eso acaba de decir
And
que es
again,
Nero,
again,
que es Iki.
Is he a villain? Yes, but I can't see him as that. And honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love playing characters like this. I love playing complicated and complex characters. And you know, it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's challenging, but like Nero, I like a good challenge.
Nero.
Tomat, you have significant experience as a writer-producer, notably as executive producer of the series The Witcher.
El Witcher. Más de como 2 episodios.
What were the challenges of directing a full-length feature film?
I think the challenges end when you have a great crew and when you have amazing cast. And basically, this is what we have here. So like, believe me, almost everybody can be a director if you have a great crew, which may be sound weird, but in this case, it was an absolute like pleasure to work with those people, work with with our cast, because it's not only Madison and Diego, but also Sean, Famke, Nick, Mark Dacascos, and of course Mackenzie, who couldn't be with us today because he's still shooting in South Africa. But what is usually the challenge of this type of project is usually time, because you want to have as much time as possible spent on set and shooting actual material which will end up on the camera, which will end up on screen in the final film. And it means that we decided to spend a bit more time in development. We spend a lot of time on script, doing rewrites and versions to make sure that we have a very, very consistent story where we don't have to recut, reshoot, change things later, but we have the stuff which will end up on screen. And then we also spend a lot of time in prep, working with Andy, working with the rest of the crew, making sure that once we will get on set, everything is prepared.
Voy a cortar. Si enseñan un trailer, voy a regresar.
Looks almost exactly
Vale.
the same on screen with actors,
Bye.
with Mackenzie, with Nick, and other characters. It's almost frame to frame